Welcome back to KCIM Sports Rewind. I'm thrilled to have our next guest on. I've been wanting to have this guy on, probably one of my number one guests here for a long time. Jeff,
Yes.
I've talked about this guy for a while.
I started in 2004, and you've been talking about him since I got here.
Exactly, yeah. It is Wesley Beschorner, former Southern Cal Mustang quarterback, defensive back, punt returner. Did everything on those football teams those years. Just a thrill to watch. Went on to a fantastic career at the University of South Dakota. Has a great football story, but we got him right here on the phone with us right now. And the reason we have him is because Wesley was recently named the head coach at Wisconsin-Eau Claire. Congratulations on the position, Wesley, and it's got to be a lifetime dream to be a college football head coach.
Yes, it is. It's been a whirlwind, but this is something I wanted to be back in the Midwest, obviously, for a lot of reasons. I've moved around a little bit. My wife's from North Dakota. I'm from, obviously, Lorville. Get to see my parents, her parents, and they get to see their grandparents. My kids get to see their grandparents. To be a head coach, that's a hard job. It's a hard job to get into, and I'm fired up for it, fired up to get going, and we're already going, but fired up to even know more about these kids that we have here.
Now, you've got a great football story behind you, and I said this off air. I said you were the best high school football player that I had covered in my time in over 20-plus years. So
I don't know about that.
Okay, we agreed on the gutsiest high school football player.
I don't know about that either. I just appreciate you saying that.
Talk about your recruitment. You went to college at the University of South Dakota. You wanted to play quarterback, and you weren't given that opportunity a lot of places, but USD was willing to give you that opportunity.
Yeah, so that was something, I played for Coach Boulware, Brian Case, Scott Trost. Those were my coaches in high school, and Coach Boulware and Coach Case, Coach Trost, they helped me develop as a player. I played a lot of different positions just because, number one, I thought it was the best thing to help the team, and they allowed me to do that. And so I felt like having the opportunity to play quarterback could help any program that you go to more than any other position. So that was one thing that I was extremely fired up with. At South Dakota, it was actually John Austin, Brad Salem, and Brent Salem were recruiting me, and they said, yeah, we'll let you try it, quarterback. So that's where I went.
I would say you were pretty successful. You set most of the major offensive records there in your time at quarterback, but it wasn't an easy start. It took you a little bit to get going, didn't it?
Yeah, so I was so good at quarterback, they moved me to receiver. And then I was so good at receiver, they had to move me back to quarterback. No, it was everybody has one of those stories. And sometimes it's not as maybe publicized. Sometimes when it's a quarterback, that's not what typically happens. But, there's tons of guys who play different positions and move around, and they eventually kind of find their niche. But that was something that always intrigued me, was playing quarterback. Even when I was playing receiver, I was doing whatever I could to play receiver, but I was turning punts. But I always wanted to play quarterback, and I worked at it. I told the coaches that, hey, I'll do whatever helps the team, but I still want to do whatever I can to be and play quarterback, and I thought that was the best way for me personally that I could help the team.
Wesley, Jeff Blankman here. How do you feel like playing quarterback helped you to get to where you are today and as a head coach and kind of understanding probably every aspect of the game? Because even as a quarterback, you got to understand how to read defenses so you know the looks they're trying to give you.
I think it goes back to when I was in high school, honestly. You have a chance to play a number of different positions. We were really well coached. Did we have some elaborate offensive scheme? No. Did we have some defensive scheme that was super elaborate? No. They taught us really good fundamentals, and that kind of that piqued my interest. Like I said, Coach Case, he's doing a great job there now. Coach Bower did a great job for us now, Coach Trost. But, you learn every different type of position there, and that's what I think kept those teams successful, is everybody was into it for a number of different reasons. They were into it because not only were they being taught a lot about life and a lot about football, but they were being taught, the different aspects of football. And I think, getting to college when you play quarterback, you have to know kind of all of it. And if you don't, you're not going to be very successful. So obviously had really good coaches there and great teammates, learned from some great guys, Coach Glenn Caruso, Ed Meyercourt. Those guys really helped me develop as a player. And my brother was there. That was just so valuable to have him, to bounce ideas off of him. He was a coach, and that kind of helped get some things going.
Now, when did you know you wanted to go into coaching after school? Was that always kind of the plan?
It's going to sound silly, but, I wanted to play professional football because it's just what I love to do. I've been growing up playing football, and, I watched my brother play football, and it was something I wanted to do. And I did do that for a little bit, played some arena football, was in the CFL for just a brief moment. But, as I got into college, sports and college football, I just saw how I connected with those guys, how I connected with those coaches, how I connected with my fellow players. And it's just such a unique deal that it's hard to explain. You know, I even struggle explaining it to my wife, and it's just something that you see and you feel every day. And yeah, that's why. I mean, it's just something that's, I think, a part of you. And you get to develop young men into men. Their parents have obviously done a great job because that's where they're at right now. But I think you can kind of take another step.
Wesley, you got to really love the sport to want to coach it too, because you know, if you look at your career, coaches move around a lot, especially earlier in their year. So you've got to be willing to just pack up and go, the way it seems.
Yeah, just did that. My wife's still in Maryland with our boys, so it's a different lifestyle, I guess, than what most people go through, but other people go through it, whether they're in the military or whatever. So it's a great lifestyle, but it is definitely different. The whole moving thing we've had to do the past couple of years, not had to or chose to, both, has been interesting, but that was a big reason why I wanted to come here, wanted to, you know, get a chance to be a head football coach, so you don't have to just keep looking for different jobs, or, you know, they're not just going to, that's not going to happen. Hopefully it can be a little bit more on your terms.
Well, once you were done playing at USD, you were a coach there for a while. In fact, the associate head coach and offensive coordinator. You guys had some big wins, put up some big offensive numbers. Then you're talking colleges, Pitt, Rice, Maryland. That seemed like pretty glamorous programs. I'm sure the lifestyle maybe wasn't all that glamorous from time to time, but talk about your path.
Yeah. Being at South Dakota was awesome. I was a GA there, then was the quarterback coach, then the offensive coordinator, and Coach Ed Meyercourt was the head coach, you know, and he was great for me in my professional career. He would bounce ideas off me. I would do the same thing with him, and, you know, just being with him a lot, playing for him. And then, obviously, Coach Joe Glenn, you know, he'll be a Hall of Fame guy in college football. I think he's in a couple Hall of Fames right now, but just learning how he did things, the places he'd been. He was a fellow Coyote. Then going to Pittsburgh, Pat Narduzzi, is a great coach, just learned a different way. Everybody's got kind of their own way of doing things, and I got to meet and got to know, he's a great friend of mine now, Matt Canada. He's helped me a lot in my career. Then went to Rice, Coach Bailiff. I mean, you can't say enough good things about him. He'll be a guy that goes in the college football Hall of Fame as well. You know, he's a great man, one of the best. Unfortunately, we didn't have a very good record. Great kids there. And then went to Maryland, went through some, you know, just not fun times for so many reasons. Probably changed me as a coach as much as anything, but was there with Coach Canada, and, you know, some of my great friends were on that staff that just got there. And then obviously having the opportunity to be a head coach here and kind of get my feet on the ground, and we'll figure it out as we go.
Coach, what was it about Wisconsin-Eau Claire that made you decide that this is the place that you wanted to be and kind of settle down as a head coach?
Well, a lot of proximity. You know, it's in the Midwest. I connect with a lot of kids, I believe, that are from the Midwest, just similar backgrounds, I would say. And to me, I like to get to know the people that I'm going to be working with on maybe a personal level, to see how everybody interacts with one another. Not everybody's going to get along. Not everybody's going to be buddy-buddy, but there's a lot of energy with the kids that are 18 to 23. You all know that. And if you can get that energy flowing in the right way, great things can happen. And I've had a meeting with every one of these players on the team. That was the first and foremost thing I wanted to do. That was before I was going to tell them, this is what I'm doing. I want to make sure that they get to know me and I get to know them. And I'm going to continue to do that. But it was really, you know, it was close to the Midwest. And anytime there's a chance to be a head football coach at the college level, those jobs are hard to get. That was something that I've wanted to do for some time now.
A lot of coaches come into situations where they got to turn a program around. I don't think you're in that situation. You're replacing a coach that's going to North Dakota State University, of course, one of the premier Division I schools up in the Midwest. So what kind of program are you taking over?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think I'm still learning that, honestly. They had some really good players that graduated, and we're going to kind of find our way through it. I don't know anywhere else to explain, but I know that they're great kids. They're kids that work really, really hard, and if we work together, I think we will be in good shape.
Wesley, what kind of style are we going to see out of your football teams now that you have control as the head coach?
I think I know the answer to this one, but yeah, go ahead.
I don't want to give just like the straight political answer, but if there's one thing, like you were saying, we're going to play with a lot of guts, and we're going to play really hard. And if we play with a lot of guts and we play really hard, I think you can win a lot of games. That's my primary goal, is to just bring the best out of people and them bring the best out of me. And if they can do that and we can do that, I'm fired up for it.
Yeah, I would expect nothing less. I mean, you got a wide-open style, very aggressive, always keeping the pressure on the defense is what I would kind of maybe expect out of an offense you got.
Yeah, hopefully that's it. Sometimes you got to slow it down. But, no, I mean, we're going to play to our strengths. I know that. And we're going to get the best players the ball. If we do that, then we're going to give ourselves the best shot to win. But at the same time, I mean, we're going to be attention to detail. We're going to practice really hard. We're going to play really hard. And if we do that, honestly, learning from those guys even back home, you do that, you're going to give yourself a shot. And then it's just about believing that you do have that shot. So, like I said, getting to know these guys, I think they have a lot of that in them. So fired up to work with them towards next season.
You're in the Iowa Football Hall of Fame for high school. You're in the South Dakota Football Hall of Fame for your college career. Now you're in Wisconsin, starting your head coaching career. Your wife, by the way, Kiki, was a great track athlete at USD. You guys have 3 sons. Have you started recruiting your sons yet for football? I know they're a little young yet. But...
Well, there's one that's out there, and this is when Joe Glenn actually first got the job at South Dakota. He offered Burke, my oldest son, a scholarship. And then offered Rhett a scholarship. So I'm going to hold South Dakota to that. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. But, no, I mean, they're going to be who they are. She was a much better athlete than I was. She was a lot faster. She's certainly a lot better looking than I am. So she's a much better athlete. Hopefully they're already taking after her as far as intelligence. So hopefully they take after her in her athleticism.
But can she return a punt?
Can she? She's probably faster than me. There's no doubt. I don't know if she'll be able to catch it, though.
Wes, one last question for you here. You mentioned playing for Coach Case. He's still coaching, of course, and having a lot of success up at South Central Calhoun.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to keep in touch with him over the years? And tell us what it's like to coach for him, because I had a conversation when I was trying to get a hold of you. I went through him to get a hold of you with your number, and we had a conversation. I told him, I said, he's a great person and a great coach, but you've had the chance to play for him. Tell us what it's like to play for Coach Case.
Oh, it's awesome. Coach Case has a unique way of connecting with players. I've been around a lot of great coaches, some great ones, but he has a unique way of connecting with players and kind of getting the best, or not kind of, he does get the best out of you. And it's an unassuming way that he's one of the best. I loved him. He got me really excited. I was trying to do whatever I could to be the starting quarterback when I was a sophomore. I mean, I can remember it, but he got me excited about playing defense. And I love playing defense. Trust me, I love to hit people. But he got me excited about just kind of doing everything. I think he's so great with his words. And, I mean, he's got a great family. His daughter actually went to South Dakota when I was coaching there. She helped out the volleyball team. I know his other son, he went down to, gosh, I'm missing it.
Grandview.
The college. Yep, thank you. And then his other son is in South Dakota. So, I know the family really well. And he does a great job. And really, if any of those players are listening, make sure that they listen to Coach Case, and they're doing whatever they can to help him win, and he's doing whatever he can to help those players win. So try and check the scores as much as I can. It's a little bit harder, but I try and check the scores to make sure that those guys are doing the right things.
Well, Wesley, we sure appreciate your time. Congratulations on the job. We'll be following how you do throughout the season, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Wes.